Today is Wednesday, February 19th, 2020. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor 40 Winners at War, Week 2. That's too many W's. You're already laughing at me. This is our recap of Survivor 40 Winners at War, Week 2.
This episode's titled, It's Like a Survivor Economy. That was courtesy of Natalie there on day 5. Already out of the gate, she's having an impact with titles, not just her influence from the Edge of Extinction.
Yep, my money's on Natalie right now as far as...
The return?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's Edge of Extinction day 4. Amber's waking up, literally, and she tells us that she left 4 kids, but she's not done. She's got work to do.
Good on you.
Over at Sele there on day 4, Rob gets a fire token. He says, this is maybe not a good thing. He suspects Amber's out.
That's funny that Sandra's so mad at him, and he doesn't have a clue. He tells Parvati, I'm not sure that was even wise to tell Parvati that he got an extra token.
And he thinks it might have come from Sandra. So
it
was a little bit of a misdirect. We were thinking that he was saying she did it, she got rid of Amber, but really what he was saying in context was maybe Sandra sent it to me.
Okay, number 1, I don't think he should have told Parvati about the extra token.
Builds trust.
Number 2, he also said, well, and I've got other friends over there.
Yeah, well, it's no secret.
Well, I know, but... Why
it's not like he's hiding anything from Parvati. Reminding her, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But I still think I wouldn't have told it.
What do you think about this next part where Denise and Ben are out getting firewood and he starts teaching her how to look for hidden idols? I was surprised by that.
I honestly don't know what Ben's going to do in any given moment now.
That's fair. So he tells us, by way of the confessional that's going on while they're out gathering wood and then actually hunting for idols, is that he's doing it to build social connections because he doesn't want to play the game alone like he ended up having to do last time when everyone turned on him.
That's good. They'll use you.
That's how you viewed it?
Yeah, my girl Denise would be happy for him to show her how to find an idol, and she found one.
Yes, she did. So his teaching paid off, it appears, almost immediately.
Help. Well, I mean, come on. He said look for blue string or something. And
granted, she may have known that. She certainly, she's one of them that keeps up with Survivor. Yeah, she's a true fan, too.
But anytime anybody wants to teach you something, tell you something, it's a good policy to just listen. Let them help you.
And it turns out it's those special idols that have to first be split up and then rejoined before they can gain power. So Denise is going to have to give it to someone. And the other thing...
By sundown.
Yeah, by sundown. That's right. There was a timer on it.
Mm-hmm.
And she said the other thing that really impressed her was he didn't push for it to be him.
That was good.
Well played.
I did appreciate that.
I think his social game actually has improved, given this data point at least.
It needed to improve from last week. So, yes, I believe that was a good decision on his part and not to act like she should give it to him. I thought that was good.
Yeah, he didn't take it for granted that it was automatically going to be split with him.
No.
And he was even seemed good with whoever she wanted to choose.
But Adam also says when she tells him, hey, this is what happened, but Ben knows. And he's like, man, Ben's a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not the only ones that were thinking.
Theme that we'll hear from other players, certainly, too.
But what was Denise? I don't understand her strategy of wanting to give it to Parvati?
Twofold. She may be
Yikes.
looking to build her own alliance.
Yeah. Okay.
So leveraging Parv as a shield for her. Or it could have just simply been a test for Adam.
Maybe.
So put something ridiculous out there and let's see how he reacts. So maybe she had no intention of offering it to Parv, but it was a like a no-cost way, no-cost, low-cost way of putting a test on Adam, too, to see where he sits and be able to... It's going to catch him off guard, and you get to see perhaps an honest reaction from him.
Like, what are you, nuts? Give it to me.
Or actually saying that's a terrible idea.
I'm your buddy.
Without hesitation from what we got
I think
to
he
see.
basically just said, no.
Right. Well, he said it was a terrible idea. Yeah.
So, I'm not sure I'd want to depend on Parvati or Adam, or anybody really, but you have to depend on somebody.
That's right. You can't
Adam's
trust
been
anyone,
her
but you got to
person.
trust someone. This is the core.
Yep.
One of the cores of Survivor that you have to figure out how to navigate that.
Well, I would have been okay seeing her and Adam kind of lock in with old school 4. That would, I think that would take them a long way.
Yeah, potentially. I'm torn on that. I really would like to see him get rid of the big threats and not moving on the big threats. Seems like it's really dangerous to wait. That's just the bottom line.
It is.
And
But-
having someone like Rob go join his wife at Edge of Extinction increases the chances that you don't have to deal with him at all.
Well, here's the thing. I thought about it. I thought Rob is older now. He's got a little gray hair on the sides, and he's carrying a little tummy there. And I'm thinking, and Ethan's got the graying hair. I think the younger ones aren't as threatened because those guys, we can beat those guys. They're old. We can beat them.
Now, I don't
Comes
have any
down to it.
sense of that
We
at
can
all.
beat them.
I think you're competing. You're projecting that. You've manufactured that all on your own.
Why would Jeremy be afraid of it? No.
Well, I don't know that he is, but
Yeah.
the story that you spun, I don't think exists.
I like my stories.
Yes, I could tell.
No, we're not afraid of Rob.
And just when Adam's talking about how Ben makes him nervous, Ben pops back up. We good, family? Oh, yeah.
Ben is everywhere.
Okay, let's bounce over to Dakal there on day 4. And this is a 3-day cycle, 4, 5, and 6.
You got a breadfruit. And my first thought was, Sandra told you those were too small.
You think he was going for the 2 small, not ripe ones, huh?
I think that's exactly what he had in his hands.
Because it was at the end of a very long piece of bamboo, which had some height on it, so...
I know, but I still
Well,
look small to me from what she was saying.
I like that he came up with
could
an
be wrong.
enhancement to his technique, that he
Yeah,
put the rope on
yeah,
there and
yeah.
used that to pull it loose.
But why didn't he take Sandra with him to direct his choices? Since she's the expert. Anyway,
He had
at
Kim
least
with
got
him,
something.
which, given the extra little strategy insight, I included an extra link, and I didn't mention it because I hadn't seen it when we were putting together the listener feedback show. We had technical difficulties on Saturday, and that was a very, very long day.
Which time? The first time we recorded or the second?
I'd say things went smoother the second time. It was
Okay.
just a block of it.
Alrighty then.
Anyway, it was a long day, and by the time I got to putting the show notes together, I had seen that Yule had included this note where he was trying to explain his strategy for episode 1. And in there was a really interesting piece of information about how he had reached out to Kim and had pitched with Sophie about Kim coming in with them. So to see Yule and Kim out there getting the breadfruit was like reinforcement for me. I saw that in a good way. And so when Kim was talking about how it's weird for her to play from the bottom, but she's trying to find idols and she's working on things, I thought, oh, maybe that's a good indication that their relationship, that it wasn't just because we were curious in the previous tribal council why he had reached out and touched her shoulder and how that would be received. But with him explaining it, what?
What?
Well, you're laughing.
I know, but you read that to me, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't remember what you're saying.
You don't know what I'm talking about? I read it out loud to
Really?
you.
I know. I remembered that. I was
You-
like, really? He said that? I don't remember that part.
I read that to you, and I read the whole Dalton article to you,
I know.
and you don't remember
No,
You don't
I
remember
I didn't remember the part about what
how they
you
had
just
reached
said
out to
about,
Kim.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you
I
weren't
knew
thinking the
that
same thing.
I knew they kind of had.
You just forgot
before
where
I
you
thought-
learned it.
I was laughing at myself
Okay.
quietly over here.
You weren't quiet.
I was too.
I think the recording will show differently.
Okay. Well, then you'll prove it to me.
Yeah. Won't be the
Because
first
I
time
was
either.
being quiet. I just thought I was just laughing at myself because I thought I don't remember that.
In any case, I saw that as a good indication that a building of the alliance that Yule had done, where he had reached out to her, was probably in effect, and it was doing some good on his behalf.
Yeah, that was awesome. Even back when you told me the first time.
Kim's talking about how weird it is to play from the bottom, and that she's saying her special kind of survivor prayer. It's a process that she goes through, and I liked hearing how she readies her mind to be receptive to find idols.
Well, you know that I am intuitive at times, so I appreciated her
Did you-
using her intuitive abilities to kind of
So that's how you interpreted it, that she was
Yes.
being intuitive?
Yes.
I took it that she was calm in her mind.
She said before that that's how she played before, was she did a lot of things just on intuition, and she let that guide her. And yes, that's exactly what I thought she was doing.
Gotcha. And to her credit, she ends up finding one of the split
That's
idols
right.
too. Now, the interesting thing to discuss is who she chooses to share it with. You were shocked.
Yeah.
But again, going back to the discussion that you had
So was-
forgotten,
Okay.
it was Yule and Sophie that
What
had reached out
discussion?
to her and tried to assure her that she was going to be okay, even though she was going to get votes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were pulling her into the bigger alliance.
Yes, that I remember.
Okay.
I was in the show, so I didn't remember
Yep.
that. Okay, and she finds it. I was very excited for her.
Yes. Yep. She found it. And then Tony and Nick almost bust her.
Yeah.
I thought they
for
had
sure.
busted her. She said
I
she
did
didn't
too.
think so. And
Well, I kept
she had
waiting for them to say something like, "Hey, you think she found an idol?"
quick cover that she's gathering firewood.
What I wanted to know, where did she put it? Where did she didn't have anywhere to really hide it. I thought, where did she stuff it?
You don't remember seeing it? Because they showed it when she brought Sophie
could-
back out there.
No, I didn't.
It was buried in some grass. It was like some tall grass.
Okay. Well, I knew I was making notes, so I was thinking, I was looking at her clothes going, where did she put it?
Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Yeah.
There's nowhere to put it.
What did you think about what Sophie said? She should be telling Tyson, not me.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Well, I
Sophie's
don't
got
know
that poker alliance thing still in her
wouldn't
head to some
necessarily
degree.
tell Tyson either, but Sophie, why do they trust Sophie? Sophie could do a lot of damage and win this thing if people keep trusting her the way they are.
Well, and Sophie
They're
she
just not seeing what she
made
can
that
offer.
clear. She said, "You've just told the devil by telling me. You could be
Yeah.
next on the chopping block for doing that." So
Yeah, I
I
could
thought,
vote you
well,
out
maybe
for
that
that.
Yule Sophie Kim alliance was very tenuous.
Like,
'Cause
oh, you've got that. Well,
Yeah.
then you're the next to go.
that way I can have that, and it'll be all mine.
Well,
We've seen that
no,
trick
that's-
before.
That's
Well, it was officially split at that point, though.
yeah, but she'd have to
She'd
get the
given
other
it.
half back if Kim had it with her when she left. It would be null and void.
Yeah,
Sophie
possibly.
would have to have both halves.
Yeah,
So that might not work either.
yeah, that's true.
But it
Good
would
point.
nullify the item.
It would get it out of the
So
way.
Kim couldn't use it on him. So anyway, yeah,
So,
I'm amazed
all right.
Sophie was that open
Good on
about it. But it was
Kim
just us.
and good on Denise there with the idols.
Yeah, both of you
I did not
ladies.
expect that this early.
Woohoo, ladies.
Day 4. Yeah, good job. Yeah, and that's an increase by 2 for the ladies finding idols, right?
Yep, yep.
I wonder, I guess technically you could, well, I don't know if you'd want to count Natalie's, though, from the first episode. That wasn't really hidden. That was just like, you need to do this so that we can get this whole fire token thing going, even though I guess technically she found it. Okay, Edge of Extinction Day 5. Natalie's telling us she's going to play dumb here. They go off looking for clues, and she's going to let Amber think that she's not too keen or hadn't figured anything out, maybe is a gear behind Amber while
I
she's
like
looking.
her strategy.
Very smart, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why Natalie's so dangerous, and Amber didn't
very
seem
dangerous.
to pick up on it at all.
That's why I thought, really, I was saying in the pre-season show about how Natalie and Sarah scare me. It's like, whoa, those ladies could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I chose Sarah to go home this week.
Okay. And Amber and Natalie do a good job of scouring over the island there, and Amber says, well, maybe what we're meant to do is look tomorrow. And Natalie says, yeah, that must be what it is.
Yes, but I was waiting to see what happened when they saw something. Were they both going to grab for it or fight over it or
TBD.
Scramble?
Right.
Well, yeah. But then
That day's coming, I'm sure.
Natalie found it by herself.
She found it in the well by looking, making sure to stay.
Paying attention, staying alert.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. Good job, Natalie.
And so this is a safety advantage, and the terms of it are that whoever has it has the ability to leave tribal council before the vote. They don't get to vote, but they also can't be voted out.
Yep, so they might as well have an idol other than the lack of being able to vote. So that's pretty good too.
If you do have the numbers, it's roughly equivalent, I guess. But a lot of times you need everybody's vote, especially
Sure.
when you're doing splits and
Yep.
trying to play things
But
safe.
if it came down to protecting yourself or someone else, see ya. So anyway, offers it to Jeremy for 1 token.
Yep, so they're still controlling the token count here.
Well, she gave her token to Jeremy, so he still got 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she knew Jeremy could buy it, and she wanted to help protect him. I'm still thinking she'd like a little revenge. We'll see how she treats Danny. Okay, Jeremy's happy to pay for it, happy to have it, and he assumes it's coming from Natalie, which is correct.
And he's certainly coming up to speed on the significance of the fire tokens. He believes they're super valuable.
Okay, back over to Dakal, and Tony has built a ladder. Gotta have something to do.
Is that technically a ladder?
Can't be idle.
Yeah, that's an interesting ladder.
Well,
If you turn it the wrong way, it all just kind of collapses.
yeah, there's no way I'd have got up on that thing.
Simple as that, he says. Simple as that.
Mm.
Sophie didn't think it was a ladder. She's like, that's not a ladder.
Well, Tyson was horrified that really? You're calling that
he
thing?
said there was no ladder clause in all the things that we read. So you're taking your life in your hands there.
Well, he signed it away. They could.
Sophie's convinced that he's like a child and that he's in make-believe
That
land.
first rung dropped, though, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. He had to get a step up. He had to get
And
help
it
from
didn't
Wendell.
deter him one little bit.
Not a lick. Not at all.
So, hey,
Never.
somebody give me a lift up
Yeah. He
to
scrambled
the next one. We'll
right
see
on,
if it drops.
right on up there, grabbed a breadfruit and said, top that mule.
Yeah.
He had one up on mule.
Oh, he couldn't stand it that Yule got one. He had to go get one, too.
Yes. Yeah.
I see.
Took a lot more effort and energy.
Yule was the hero.
though.
Tony couldn't stand it.
I'd say Tony's cost more than Yule's did because Yule
Yeah.
did it by himself.
Well, Yule probably expended the most energy.
What'd you think about the talk afterwards? The return of Cops R Us officially. They'd been staying away from each other because they were scared.
Well, because
the
I had Sarah
association.
going this week.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I was
So how did
just,
you read it with that in mind? You saw it as a positive?
No.
They're going to
not
show them teaming back
necessarily.
up because she's going to get blown out?
Well, I didn't know, but I thought, why wouldn't they kind of assume that they would? Didn't they say that
I think that was
before?
Tony's argument.
Didn't
It was
they?
everybody thinks that we're
Yeah, they already
aligned.
think it. So, what?
Why not? Let's just talk here on the beach.
Yeah. So, and she was talking about, well, their alliance could work if people don't see them together. I thought, I'm with Tony. They already assume you're
Or
together.
thinking it, and perception is the
So,
rule. So,
You know.
yeah,
And
interesting.
Sandra, too.
We'll
with
see
you
if it
guys,
bears
so.
fruit. Get it? Bear shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
You too punny.
As Tony extended the ladder of friendship and alliance back to Sarah.
The ladder of breadfruit.
All right.
Okay.
Time for the Combo Immunity Reward Challenge, day 6. So now we're into the final day of the cycle for the challenge, and the reward's going to be the much desired Survivor Spice Kit.
I really thought Rob would have dealt with it a little bit, that Amber was gone. Because I think he really knew Amber was gone, right?
Yeah.
Pretty big likelihood.
So you're saying when they came in for the challenge, we get to see the reaction as Rob realizes that she's been voted out and Probst announces it.
And it did seem to rattle him.
Yes. Yep.
And I guess I didn't expect that.
It's tough, he says. It's a game, but I get it.
It's a game, I get it.
Yeah.
So I think he handled that part well.
He tried to brush it off.
Yep. But I do think it kind of shook him up a little.
But the results of the challenge are going to suggest that it rattled him.
Challenge.
Yeah. Ooh. Very, very physical component with a puzzle at the end to even things up and make it exciting.
Yeah, that's kind of a brutal. We've seen.
So you got to drag this cart through the course.
Sand and everything else.
And there are 3 stations where they have to retrieve keys and chests. And
up and down.
Puzzle pieces are in the chest. So Ben and Tyson end up being the ones to climb up the ladder and free a key that's on a big pole arm up there. So
3 times.
Yeah, they got to do that 3 times for 3 chests. And when they get the key, it allows them to unlock the chest so that they can load the chest on the cart. And then after they get the 3rd chest, they've got to disassemble the cart and move the chest and the cart through an obstacle, and then they have to climb over that obstacle. Although no, I don't think under was really an option. They did, and that's what I was about to say. It was Tony and I think Ethan in the beginning went low. Maybe it was, I don't know. But they both went low to try to knock that extra sand out of the bottom center of the obstacle there.
Yep.
But then Probst was pretty clear on they have to go over it to complete the obstacle.
At least the rest of the people had to go over. But anyway,
and then they reassemble the cart, and
that's where Blue got into trouble. They were neck and neck right up to that point.
Yeah, exactly.
They weren't very good on the reassembly.
I went back and watched Dakal, and I still can't see how they did that so well. It was like they somebody was prepping that thing.
Who knew how to do that? Ben, I bet you.
Well, Ben's on Sele, and they had trouble, so I think you might be off the wrong trail on that one.
Well, I was thinking Rob would be good, but then he was on the puzzle. But, yeah.
Dakal's ability to reassemble the cart and get the 3 chests reloaded was really...
Wendell, he puts furniture together, duh.
Yeah.
He builds furniture.
Yeah, you think he was responsible for the quick reconfigure of the cart?
I bet he was.
All right.
Now that I got the right team.
Tribe,
whatever.
All right, so they get started. So Sophie and Sandra are on the puzzle for red for Dakal, and they get started, and they get out to quite a good head start there on that first part. Sele has a lot of trouble getting the cart back together, and then they get stuck in the last obstacle that they got to pull the cart and the 3 chests through. I saw Ethan look like he just was completely tuckered out. He was on his knees in the sand behind the cart as the cart pulled away from him. But then you do see him help unload the chest. So once they get everything up there and Rob and Denise get started, they make short work of the first stage of the puzzle. Yeah. And they actually caught up. So they drew even from the way it was presented to us. Mm-hmm. It's always clarifications. You don't know exactly how things went down, but it looked like they pulled even on the first stage of the, whatever it is, 3 or 4 stages of that puzzle. And then Rob's got this idea that they're going to sort them by color, and that's going to help him. And so they take this big side detour to sort pieces before actually plugging them in. Meanwhile, Sophie and Sandra are just plugging pieces in. Yeah, and they're making progress, and then Probst starts to get on Rob for taking too much time and not getting anything done.
Yeah. Well,
Nothing to show for it,
Do
Probe
you
says.
think Rob should have immediately thrown himself under the bus as far as, that was my bad, boys.
I don't know if
That's
it
on
mattered.
me. That's my bad.
It doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
It's really obvious that, he goofed that one hard.
Yep, so they only got
As
one
he described,
section.
not even close. Yeah, after Probst was on him.
I think probably he thought if they could divvy the pieces up, she could do one side, he could do the other.
Exactly, yeah.
And beat them faster. And
I don't know.
It didn't work.
I don't know why it fell apart. It seemed to be a reasonable alternative strategy to consider. You know what though? I stopped actually paying close attention because when I heard him say these are purple and blue, I had no clue.
Well,
I would have been so
kidding.
bad on something like that.
You call everything that's purple blue.
Yes.
That blue shirt. Oh, you mean the purple? The lavender color? Yeah, that one, that blue shirt.
Yes. The light blue or the dark blue?
Well, I've learned. You thought a peach shirt was gray, so I never
was
know
your
what you're
joke.
going to call it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So I just kind of go with it.
That
This
made me
one,
wonder
this one,
if
this one.
maybe he was having. No, he called the colors out, so he can see
No,
colors.
he did. He can see colors.
And it's really rare, or much rarer for women to have that
Yep.
particular color blind.
Well, Jeff had to rub it in. Complete and total blowout. They just smoked you dudes. Okay, here's where I got nervous, though.
Yeah.
Parvati making sure, she got to make sure that there's no new school alliances she's not a part of.
In her
'Cause
confessional
one
after
of
the
them
challenge.
got to go home. And
Yeah.
I thought,
Gots to go, she
oh,
says.
why did you have to say that? That usually means there might be a problem with that.
Right. Now you both
Because they showed you saying.
both of us are looking at our list of safe picks
No.
and going,
Well,
That's
you
not
at
what
least
we were
had Rob
looking
going
for.
home. I wasn't even on the right tribe.
Yeah.
And I had chosen Rob and Parvati, along with Sandra and Tyson, to be safe this week. And Sarah was going to go home.
oh, okay.
I was determined to get at least 1 point off of the people I was most afraid to put down. And
Sandra's
I just said
pretty
I'm gonna-
safe to
I didn't
choose.
think she was safe to choose.
She's got an idol.
Well, I guess I forgot that.
You forgot that Sandra has an
I
idol.
did.
Okay.
Should have looked at the roster.
You spent days
I don't know what is wrong with my brain.
thinking the wrong thing. Okay.
But anyway, I didn't think about that at the time.
Okay. You
I
thought
did
you were
know
being
she
bold.
had one. Well, I did.
Choose
I
one of the
really did.
safest people in the game.
I
Okay.
really did.
Yeah.
But no.
Nah.
Well, I think Rob and Parvati choosing both of them on that tribe, I thought was bold.
Certainly.
Actually, I thought I called it stupid bold. I thought, okay, I think I'm being
It's a
stupid bold.
Phrase that you've used directed at me
I
many
know,
times before.
and I had already accepted. This is going to be another 3-point week for me. I'm going to lose one of these people, but I'm determined to get a point off the other 3. So anyway, enough about me and my picks. Let's move along.
Okay, back at the Sele camp there after the challenge.
This is not Rob's best day, he says.
Right. I like Ethan. You sucked. Ethan was very
I
blunt.
first thought Ethan and Rob's like, well, you didn't do so good either. And then they laughed. And
Yeah.
I thought, oh, okay, they're,
Yeah, because he saw him
They're
crawling
bros,
through the
yeah.
sand back there and
And Rob's
collapsing after carrying
like, and
the
yet
chest.
I'm really not worried. I thought,
Yep, Rob tells us Jeremy's on the bottom and Ben's such a wild card. It's really just a choice between those two. And he has that discussion with Parvati and Ethan. Which one should we go with, Jeremy or Ben? At which point the editors show us that Danny has not been included in that old school discussion.
you think they just got so relaxed and thought that they had it for some reason, and that the people, whoever they think is in their extended alliance, obviously they think someone is, that they would have the numbers to make those choices. why wouldn't they?
They're overconfident. I mean, and they had reason to be to a degree with the fact that no one came after them in the first game cycle.
But can't they? They're all good at reading people. Well, I don't know about Ethan as much as,
Right.
but Rob and Parvati are. Why couldn't they see Danny's paranoia going on and baby her a little?
I don't know that you would necessarily see it, although that's damage control after you get wind of it, for sure.
Yeah.
I think they could have rescued it, to your point.
Or prevented it was my thought. They could have prevented it.
They could have prevented it by including her, being inclusive, making sure
always
that
with her, I think.
Yeah. Well, now in hindsight,
like,
we get
keep
to
her
see
close.
that Danny's high maintenance. She needs constant
Yeah,
updates, reassurance in
Yes.
terms of that. There's a
She does, but
she
you would
comes with
think they
attacks.
know that by now. But I guess not.
I think to your broader question, though, they were so comfortable thinking they were calling the shots and in control.
Yeah.
First in the tighter circle between Rob and Parvati, and then Rob, Parvati, and Ethan, because that formed before they brought Danny in.
Yeah, that's the
That
thing.
they slipped
That's
and they
what
lost her.
happens when you get so comfortable. And they all know that. They would tell you that. Rob would teach that to someone and tell them that specifically, and yet they did it.
Yeah, they slipped up for sure and lost her again.
Anyway, I was a little upset with Danny about the whole thing.
You were upset with Danny?
I was. Nobody's
that was-
including me, even Parvati, and I thought we were friends, and I thought, oh my gosh, are you really doing this?
Yeah, it didn't have a winner's edge. So that's something you always wonder about. Who's going to come out here and potentially tarnish their winner's reputation, right?
Yeah. Because that does happen. Has happened.
And when we see her talk to Ethan and Ben, and she blurts out the whole old school thing, and
Oh
you see
my gosh.
how stunned Ethan is that she's actually
You
out there
realize
telling
he's
secrets.
new school, right? Hello?
I loved Ben's reaction too. I knew it.
I knew there was a...
So you were? Oh no. What do you mean no? You just said there was.
Well, really, Ethan didn't, and I think he could cover. It's like, no,
He was
she
covering
said that.
horribly. But he wasn't paying any attention to Ethan. He knew that Ethan wasn't the one
I
that was
like,
blurting it out.
Danny. And why would you, of all people, say anything in front of Ben that you didn't want everyone to know he's already tattled on you before?
As bad as Rob was at the challenge, she was right here at managing these exchanges and trying to line up where the votes were going to go. Just super poor judgment and execution. Like she wasn't thinking at all. She didn't have her brain engaged.
Well, and
Just
then...
reacting emotionally. Parv turned on me. She should be punished for that. I guess I was a little surprised that
Even
Jeremy...
worse to target Parvati to me.
Jeremy, yeah, you took offense at that.
I was like, what?
What do you mean? Parvati and Rob are the two biggest ones they should be targeting.
Well, that's true, but that's not why
right.
she was doing it.
No, she's doing it because she
She's
felt
going to Rob.
hurt.
I thought that's just going to get you voted out. Why
Jeremy,
would you
Adam,
go to Rob?
and Ben were okay with getting rid of Danny. I guess that was not me. But
Obviously, everyone was. So Rob tells Ethan in front of Adam, which makes me feel that I have felt before, that they think Adam and Denise are fully with them.
yeah, they don't have any reason to think otherwise. They voted with them. They're
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, so yeah, they're set. That they're saying it's Danny.
And of course, Adam doesn't care if you
Yeah.
got to vote Parvati out at some point if any of us have a chance to win. And so I think he was thinking fairly clearly on that. I'm not sure how it got switched around, but
Ethan basically informs Parvati of the threat from Danny, and Parv's not having any of that.
well, no
But
one
they
would.
just want to they don't want to count out Ben because he's such a wild card. So in spite of all the work Ben's doing, he's still keeping himself in the mix for potentially getting voted out because of how he acted early on.
Well, and Adam is showing up in everybody's conversations.
Yeah, it's good for Adam for
And
sure.
Michelle's like, hey, they're saying Danny. I think this is a go along vote. Let's just go along and vote Danny. But Jeremy said, whoa, but that means Rob's calling the shots. And I want to call the shots. And I thought, now, Jeremy, this is not
it was
the
we.
time
Yeah.
for
He made
the
it a
big
we.
ego.
I
didn't hear a we.
I'm obviously biased. Well, we'll go back and
He.
watch.
It'll be he.
Okay, if it's confessional, sure. But I think when he was talking to her and trying to make his case,
Yeah, but he
and Adam
said-
came up and joined him. To your point, Adam joined Jeremy and Michele too after having been there.
Yeah. Though
with,
they seemed
with Rob.
willing to do that at that point.
And why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
I'm biased.
Yeah,
but I thought Jeremy's the one who's thinking right. Jeremy and Danny are. You need to go get these big targets.
Well, Michele, Adam, and Jeremy, absolutely, I think that's a great vote for them. However, Danny is the new wild card. How can anybody trust her?
Certainly, she seems to be
In this
coming off
group.
worse than Ben. Yeah, Ben's redeeming himself to a degree.
And
Although
she's all over the place with, she seemed to be leading the paranoia.
well, in the first game cycle, she went after Rob. Here in the second game cycle, she's going after Parvati. You got to think they're just going to want to pull the trigger on her. Although, I still think she could have been reassured had they made that effort to keep those old school numbers. This really shoots themselves in the foot. That's why when you look at it from Ben and Adam and Jeremy, Michele, and Denise's perspective, this is what was an old school number in Danny. And so to narrow it down to just Ethan, Parvati, and Rob is really in their favor. So they're going to be okay with it, but...
Sure. If I were one of them, I'd be like, oh, heck yeah, we'll use
no problem
Danny to
there.
get any one of them out. We don't care. Just give us the numbers more. And sure, we'll vote them.
It seems like this isn't necessarily in Ethan, Parvati, and Rob's best interest, but I think to your other point, they think they've got Adam and Denise and sometimes Ben, and that they've got Jeremy and Michele on the ropes. So they're thinking it's okay to lose Danny.
Well, here's
Interesting to see it in that light.
Yeah, but here's the thing, too. Adam already doesn't trust Ben, right? So I'm thinking that was his thought process is like, but we can't count on Ben. He doesn't trust him. And Ben has knowledge Adam doesn't want him to have, really, so about the idol. I think he's afraid he'll let that out or tell somebody because he's telling people too many things.
Certainly reason to worry about that with
So-
Ben, although he seems to have tightened his game up here in the second cycle.
Well, that's why I'm saying I think he pulled back in with him and Denise, with Ethan, Parvati, Rob, and
Jeremy and Michele.
yeah, convince the others as
Yeah.
well.
Okay, let's go to tribal council where we can confirm that. So one of the things that was in Dalton, I know what you're laughing about, it's Adam.
Yeah.
One of the things that was in that article that Dalton Ross put in was he was talking about how Adam was unable to light his torch,
He
at the
couldn't
first
do it.
tribal council. And so that plays in, when you know that plays in really well with this tribal council.
But they had to
'Cause-
have someone light it for him.
Right. First, Ben had tried, because there was some legitimate difficulty with his torch.
Right.
Ben tried it, couldn't, and then Danny, Dalton said, actually got it lit for him. Now, this time he comes in, and I wonder, my big question is he doing this on purpose?
Because
So,
it was
like,
well,
yeah,
maybe
'cause he was
wants
so
them
far
to
away.
Think he's just,
He's that dopey.
I'm no threat.
There's
I'm
a
just
dopey
yeah,
element. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
even get my torch set right at tribal council. Am I really somebody you need to worry about?
You don't need to worry about me.
So that seems like a no-cost way of doing it, although I gotta suspect these are legitimate
He
issues.
looked like, well, it looked like a hole.
Now, what did you think about how Probst did that? He gave a nod to Ben, got Ben's eye, and said, "Please go help the young lad," without saying anything out loud.
Well, and
then
him
Ben's on it
saying to Adam, "It's been 6 days."
after
Adam,
he thanks Ben for taking care of Adam's
you,
torch.
Ben.
Yeah.
for taking care of the child.
Yes.
Well, Ben knew, though. He knew exactly what Jeff wanted. He jumped right up and got to it.
Yep.
Here, let me help you. And then he just takes it away from him and goes and puts
Puts
it where it
it's
belongs.
supposed to be. Yeah.
It's like, what are you trying to do? Because you pointed out that it's way away from the others.
Yeah,
like a
Denise had to
yard
walk
from
around
the-
him just to get to her spot to
Yeah.
sit down.
It's like, there's nothing over there.
There's nothing that suggests that what you're doing makes sense. Yeah.
Well, his clue should have been when it wouldn't go in to this supposed hole in the ground.
He's playing sharp. He's got all this awareness, and then he gets the tribal, and he's goofing. What do you think? Is it an act?
I don't know. It could be.
Yeah.
He's smart enough to do something like that.
Yeah. And it's a real low, no
he has
cost
game.
misdirect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, though it could just be a goof that he's so focused on tribal he's not paying attention.
Okay, Rob gets the first question at tribal, and it's after Probst is done with Adam.
Yeah, with Adam. Yeah.
Chastising him a little bit. You've been here twice. You still haven't figured out how to manage your torch.
Don't give him a torch.
Yeah.
Somebody just do it for him.
So we asked Rob about the importance of relationships, and he said, yeah, it's core, but things are more complex now. I guess it's just going to be the token question to Ethan and whoever is old school. Hey, are you feeling dumb? Are you confused because you're old school? And Ethan says, yeah, the confusion's real. Michele framed it a little differently, though, in her response. She said, nah, old school, new school, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Things can be confusing to anyone, given how things going.
Because, well, this was her opportunity to point out the fact that she thought she knew what was going on last time.
Right.
She looked every single person in the eyes, but she was not in on the vote, and she was hoodwinked, and I thought that was more her opportunity to point that out.
She counterpoints Ethan, and then Parvati feels compelled to counterpoint Michele
It doesn't matter
by
when you
saying
played.
old school and new school does matter.
And like Danny.
And so Probst turns to Danny and asks her, do you feel old?
I don't mean physically old.
She said, yeah, she played a loyal game before, and she's not sure what's going on now.
Well, yeah, I maybe, but you're not trustworthy. I wouldn't have trusted her the way she played the last few days.
No, these folks aren't much interested in playing with people that are erratic. So,
Well,
and so Parvati goes on the attack. You get to see reactions from Parvati and reactions from Danny. You get eye rolls and maybe even expletives from Parvati. You said you thought she might have said something under her breath when Danny was talking at one point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought she called her a name.
A name, yeah.
And Danny rolled her eyes, but why would the new school people trust her at all when last week she started out talking to them and pushing, let's get Rob out.
Right.
Then they go to tribal council and she votes with Rob. So already, why do I trust you?
Well, I think she's kind of covered by Ben, outing her there, throwing her under the bus. So
Even more reason why she should have gone ahead and voted for Rob, maybe. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
what'd you think about Ben's paranoia story and how the old schoolers were trying to call him out?
I think they did call him out. And you and I differed on that because you thought Ben just established the point he was making all along.
I think he did
But
come
I thought
full circle
I felt
on
like
it.
he did point it at the old school people that they were the ones that were so paranoid. First, he didn't establish that, hey, we were all running around doing that. And he said, you guys were doing this, and you were talking, and you were talking.
I didn't
They're
see him
like,
stumble
we're
that
all
much.
doing that.
I thought he had a handle on it.
I didn't think
But it was
so.
funny the way the exchange went, and they did gang up on him there, trying to make some point. To what end,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that it meant anything in the long and short.
I want to talk about Rob's ploy, his next play, which was who has an idol.
Oh, yeah.
What did you think about that?
Well, it was Ben talking about, hey, and everybody thinks I don't know. Ben brought up idol.
Right?
Ben brought it up.
Ben, the
Rob,
finder of idols.
I think, went, why is he talking about idols? And I think I liked that Rob said, He grabbed his bag right. Well, okay, we're after the truth here. Let's see. Everybody dump their bags. We'll see who has an eye. I was like, yes.
Great cover. And I was worried for Denise and
Cool.
Adam at this point. I didn't know who had
yeah.
it or how it
Our
was.
girl Denise.
How it was there, yeah, because we got her picked to win it all for the big bonus.
But she did look a little concerned, though. I have to say, she did really great poker face.
Well, which is
throughout
it? Did she
this.
look concerned, or did she have a good poker
For a second,
face?
like in her eye, that frontal on, like they couldn't see it, but like for the camera, it's kind of like, she didn't.
I thought she
show
handled it really
anything.
well.
She did.
And the camera's trying to indicate
Trying
to
to
us
pick up
that
something.
that she essentially palmed it while she was holding on to her bag. So
Yeah.
she used that to cover the fact that she had it there.
Yeah,
And
I
I
dumped
thought
my
Adam-
bag, but I'm keeping this over here.
Yeah, she was just casually holding the bag after she had
I
emptied
bet
it out
she don't
for
put
everyone.
it in the bag again. She'll pull it out from somewhere else
Okay.
at any future troubles.
But very clever of Rob. I like that. He
Yep,
knew he didn't
yep.
have anything to lose. He knew his alliance, from what they had told him, didn't have anything to
Yep.
lose. So why not force everyone's hand this way? This was a really
Absolutely.
good play.
That was.
Adam seemed offended by it, which I thought, why
Well, why are you
calling attention to
yeah.
yourself?
Well, and
Yeah.
Rob jumped on that too. Adam, subjecting. You got an idol?
All right. But Rob's just trying to find the truth. Always watch out when people say just. Mm-hmm. Adam says, well, it's really about where the votes are going to go. That's the thing that's important.
So let's refocus on the vote, not idols.
Parvati
And,
says that relationships are key tonight.
And Jeremy obviously felt like he was fine. He did not need to use his.
His safety advantage.
yeah.
Right.
So,
Didn't need to pull the safety parachute.
nope. And so I think they all unanimously agreed on Danny before they got there. Nobody was changing that.
Even though the tribal went live at one
Yeah.
point when Ben was talking and lots of whispering was going on.
Yeah, they make TV. They know how to make TV.
They do. That's what Probst had said.
That's right.
All these folks are really good at it.
That's right.
So Parvati gets 1 vote, and then there's 5 for Danny, and Danny is out.
Danny.
And we were thrilled because she gave her fire token to our girl Denise.
Yeah.
Yes. All
I'm
right.
thinking, oh, what didn't we see? Did she make some kind of connection with Denise? Yay. Send our girl stuff.
Well, good
That
on
works for
Denise. I
me.
wish we knew a little more about how that came to be, but
Yep.
we know Danny wasn't giving those eye rolls. She wasn't going to give it to Parvati.
Yep, that's for sure.
And they didn't give us anything to go on with regards to her and Michele making a connection, so
I don't know that Danny really has been watching Survivor and keeping up. I don't think she really knows Ben or who he is or anything about him. Did you get that impression?
something was missing in
Yeah.
her approach to the game. I'll say that much.
But I did like that she's not giving up. She says she's still got life in this game and she's going to fight, but I don't know. It just left me with a weird feeling. I just don't really know what's going on with her, but
Well, and by her own admission, she felt out of sorts from the drop. She just didn't have the connections, and she somehow didn't seem to have the facility for making them. I guess it threw her off. How are you going to feel when you reach out to the group and you find out that Ben turned on you and put you right in the crosshairs of Boston Rob? So, yeah.
then you join with Boston Rob, and then you think they're after you. And I think it's just flat
funny,
out
she
paranoia got the best of her.
thought that Parvati had turned on her instead of confronting her.
Well, out of the
Or
three
instead
of them,
inviting herself to that conversation she was observing between Parvati, Rob, and
exactly,
Ethan.
she was most hurt. She went after Parvati because she felt hurt.
Right.
Because she thought they were friends.
She had slighted her, and they had had a conversation.
Yes.
She thought things were good
That's why
because she
went
needed a
after Parvati.
connection.
Yeah.
And so she felt that
feelings
Parvati
were
was
hurt.
being insincere.
Yep. And she may have been.
So
but-
basically, her emotions completely undermined her game.
Yep. And don't think Parvati's going to let that pass. So, okay. I enjoyed it. It was good. I was shocked beyond belief that I ended up with 4 safe points.
Yeah, that's going to be your
I was
big
like,
takeaway. Even though we got 2
score.
women with idols now, which is cool.
Oh. Okay.
And Jeremy's got a safety advantage, and the whole economy, survivor economy based on fire tokens takes another step into maturity as we're going through the second episode here.
So Rob's got 2. He's the only one with 2 now, right? Jeremy spent one of his.
Right.
And, okay. Rob's the only one with 2. Now, if Amber could just find something for him.
I don't know that that's going to happen.
Yeah, not with Natalie out there. Though Amber could have, if they'd run across it together. But I don't know. I just had the feeling that Natalie would have knocked her over.
to get it.
Yeah. If they both saw it at the same time. Natalie would have sat on Amber and just taken it.
You'd certainly get the sense that she could charge up that hill quicker or beat her in a dash.
And I'm still mad at your husband. You ain't giving this to him.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, too.
He voted me out.
Danny showing up. Who's she mad at? Parvati and Rob. And
so she'll be mad at Danny. Danny voted for her, too.
What are you talking about?
Danny voted out
Are you
Natalie.
talking about Natalie? Okay, yeah. No,
Who are you talking about?
Danny.
Okay.
So my point being that she's got to be really careful what she says. She can have a discussion with Natalie, but she can't really have a full discussion about her feelings with Amber.
Well, not if she decides
Just like
to
Natalie
run Rob
couldn't
down.
either. Yeah.
Well, I tried to make a deal with Rob. I was going after Parvati, not Rob. It's like, well, last week it was Rob. But yeah, she'll have to be. That puts another added tension in the game, being out there with one of them's spouse.
Yeah. Certainly be interesting to see if she can manage that any better, if this is a wake-up call for Danny.
Natalie feels like Jeremy is family. So obviously they have a very close friendship outside of this game. And she might want to be cautious about what she says about Jeremy, too, because Natalie might get offended as well.
Yeah. Some of this depends on how much Danny knows about these players, which I think is what you're hinting at.
That's
You're
what I
thinking
was
she
saying.
may not be
I'm
up
not
to
sure
speed.
that she knows anything.
Yeah, she's
Or
not
not
like
much.
Yule, who had an intern create a dossier on everyone so that he
No.
could study them, or did searches on them playing poker together.
Yeah, I'm not sure she did that kind of
Prep.
research. Mm-mm.
Yeah, she doesn't strike you as someone who would go to those ends.
She's a mom. She didn't have time. She'd
She had
wing it.
a lot
It'd be
going
fine.
on. Yeah,
And if you won your first season, you would think, hey, I can do
I've
this.
obviously won it
I
before.
already know I can do
I
it.
got the tools. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but you weren't playing with other winners.
Okay, next time on Survivor.
Jeff tells us the hunt is on. Then what else is that? There will always be bigger fish. So, but when you fight like an animal, there will always be bigger fish. Okay.
So, but more importantly, it sounds like Adam and Denise are finally ready
Gonna target some big dogs.
to go after someone like Rob or Parvati.
Yeah, but which one? They showed them both.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go after some big dogs. Well, that's pretty much most of the cast, but
I'd say with 2 women already gone, it's okay to go ahead and get rid of Rob, especially based on his performance this round.
and Denise to Adam, it's a big move. So I think either one of those 2 would be a big move. So.
And Tony goes over at Dakal, we see Tony go to Sandra and tell her that Tyson's saying she needs to be voted out. And of course, expletives are in order as far as Sandra's concerned in her
Who did
response.
you say told Sandra?
Tony?
No, I thought Yule told her.
Oh, yes, that's right. Sorry. Yeah, Yule told her. You're right.
I thought you said Tony. Okay.
I looked down and saw Tony, but that's because Tony ends up grabbing that shark. Yeah. Yeah, so Yule told Sandra, my bad, that Tyson's coming after her. So
Well, everybody knows if somebody targets Sandra, they're her next target.
Yep.
And that's gotten her through before.
Yep.
So,
And we get to see a momentous moment there where someone ends up getting a shark. I'm thinking, because you could see a gill net in the background, maybe they netted it and he had gotten it out of the net. Not sure. But that's been some pretty historic occasions when Hatch got one and then Tom got one.
Tom Wesson got one in Palau. Though he went after it with the machete.
Well, I think the one bit Hatch and Hatch bit it back. It bit him in the arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he ate it. Yeah. So
Yep,
that's going to
yep,
be,
yep.
that spices are
That's
going to
pretty
come
good
in
eating, yeah.
handy. Yeah, they're going to get some good
Well,
meat off the shark.
and
Although not enough for 9 people, but
I don't know.
it's a baby shark.
I think it might be saving Tony because my thought was if the red tribe lost, I was kind of thinking it would be Sarah or Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And because they said Sarah had kind of isolated and she was having struggles, being out there the first few days. And so I was kind of thinking, that could hurt you right out the gate. And but I thought
But it didn't
Tony
seem to.
could annoy people too. But
He's definitely been annoying
think-
you. You've really been pinpointing him. You were saying he wasn't doing anything, and then you're saying he's too hyper.
No, I said he
and-
wasn't working.
Yeah, but he was. There are other videos where he was working and building, working on the shelter.
I didn't see him working.
I know.
So,
But you're
that
really
wasn't my
comfortable saying,
experience.
"Oh, he's not doing anything," and then he's just jabbering all the time.
well, he is.
He is hyper.
Is that not true? He's very hyper.
I don't know that he's jabbering all the
And
time.
a lot of times that can get annoying out there to people. They don't like it. They could send you home. However,
He's
Tony's so
entertaining.
crazy right now but he's willing to climb that stupid ladder and get them food and grab a hold of a shark to get them food. So, okay, if you're willing to do that to get them
Right.
food, okay, you can stay around. I'll put up with the rest of your craziness as long as you bring me food. So that could be helping him. What do I know?
I think the thing to watch out for is with Yule, Nick, Wendell, Sophie, and then bringing Kim in. That's all they need to control what's going on there, and so that makes it easy to go after some of the others for sure. I can see Tyson going.
Tyson, Sandra.
Yeah. I don't think Sandra's going anywhere. Her idol's good for 2 more tribal councils, assuming that they even go. They may not be going back because
Though
Sele's
Tyson's
having
more-
trouble.
Tyson's more helpful in the challenges. They might target her. Doesn't mean she's going anywhere, but especially if Tyson targets her, she will go
All
out.
right, yeah. We both enjoyed that
We
episode.
noticed.
We ended up with some safe picks. Didn't get our vote outs.
Woo! Oh,
But
I was just
let's-
happy to get
let's-
safety.
Yeah, you were ecstatic by the end of it. Let's get a JSFL update.
I can do that. There were 16 people this week who lost their USB, and congratulations
For
to
now.
Dan Sparks for being first place with 11 points in JSFL. That doesn't usually happen this early on. We usually have a lot of people tied for first for, quite a few weeks before it starts to separate out a little, but to be solely in first place is unusual. So good job, Dan.
Yep.
There were 117 people who lost a safe point, and congratulations to the 13 people who earned a vote-off point.
Yeah. Good job.
Good job. There were people were kind of all over the board. I think, but I think there were 9 of us. I looked to see who else picked Sarah. There were about 9 of us that did. Oh, and you
You
had
wanted
Rob.
some friends?
No, I didn't care.
Just wanted to know you weren't alone.
No, I didn't care about that either. I just decided on Sarah, and that was that.
Uh-huh.
And moved on. And then I didn't have time to think about it again. So, okay. As far as the side challengers, tied for first place with 9 points is Jake, Hendred, and Jeremiah. 8 points we have Cameron, Cold Mike, Drew, Jack, Justin, Jonathan, Parker, Rebecca, Slappy, and Stacy. And with 7 points, bringing up the bottom, Brandon, Carl, and Chris.
Wow, Brandon got some company down there in
That's
the basement.
right.
Okay. Well, there you have it. We enjoyed it. Still moving quick. And Probst was talking a lot about it after that first episode that people were going to be exhausted if they weren't able to catch their breath. But it still seems pretty intense in terms of the pace of things right now.
Yeah, I even commented during the show. It's like, this seems to be going really fast.
You did, yeah. Yep. Old school. You're having trouble
Yeah.
keeping up, I guess.
Well, hey, I am old school. I'm old.
All right, so we're excited to hear what you thought about this episode, what you made of this sequence of a series of events. and what you think we might can expect next. We had an incredible listener feedback show last week. 34, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even though it did take us all day to put it together, that's not on
And
you at
most
all.
of the night.
Yeah, that's not on you. So we're really looking forward to having another great discussion this week and hearing from everybody. And there's plenty of folks that we'd love to hear from. What?
But we did nothing all day Sunday. You were going to your group, and it was like, we're not moving.
Yeah. Kind of wore me down after we had all that trouble. In any case, we love putting together the listener feedback shows. We love getting to hear all your voices and getting your emails, however you want to contribute. We're looking forward to that. The deadline is Saturday, noon Pacific time. And whether you record your own or call into the voicemail line or write it up in an email and send it off to us, try to keep it in that 3-minute range so that we can get everybody in. Voicemail line is 206-350-1547. Toll free 844-643-8737. The email's Joanne and Stacy Show at gmail.com. Yeah, folks did fantastic last week. I'm anxious and looking forward to seeing what they come up with and what they send us this
That
next
will
week.
help get us through until next Wednesday.
That's right. Absolutely. Good deal. And if you hadn't, go check the show notes from that last listener feedback show for that link where Yule was explaining his strategies. I didn't mention everything he said in there, so it's definitely worth a read. We may have to reread it to Joanne since she can't remember any of it.
Well,
Anything else?
no.
Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.